Hey, Tanya.
Yes, Christopher.
Tanya, it's that time of the week again. You know that, right?
For me to go back to bed?
Oh, God, yeah, that's a great idea. That's
Oh,
an
I'm so
absolutely great
tired.
idea.
Yes.
This has just been kind of that disappointing kind of week. Am I right?
It's been really, really hot. It's been muggy. It's been humid. And now today it looks like it's
Rain.
raining, I think, where you are, but that's doing nothing here. So,
Right.
yeah.
So we should probably just keep the theme going and talking about disappointing things.
Oh, I know. Mother
Like,
Nature does not like you.
well, there's that. But then I'm also thinking like movies that didn't quite cut it, or books that were turned into movies that didn't quite cut it, or
Or
video
something
games
that
that
happened in the
turned into
game. Yes.
yeah, stuff like that. So that sounds like a good podcast topic, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, then how about we say next on Monkey Business,
Things that disappoint us.
including
Like
this teaser.
Dan's intro. Like Dan's intro.
Including Dan's intro.
From Rochester, New York, the home of, well, there are many things here in Rochester that are cool, but I just really can't think about what they are right now, and I might just edit this out later.
No.
No, yeah, maybe. But this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky, starring Chris, Tanya, Billy, and I guess me too.
Yep.
And here's Chris, you big jerk for making me do this.
Billy, I have this moment where I'm seeing that movie where Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez played the garbage men together.
Oh God, Men at Work, I think.
Yes,
it's called.
yes.
Yes.
And the one guy was yelling at him, and the two of them turned to each other like golf clap. There you go. So nicely done, Dan. Way to hang in there. Way to hang
He was
in there for
not
us.
happy with you this morning.
Team
Oh,
player.
I tell you what, it's that kind of week that Dan can get in line with all the people who are not happy with me at the moment.
I didn't say.
Yeah, there's another one right there. I could
Well,
tell.
this is 2020.
Yeah. I'm seriously thinking this year is just throwing a tantrum because Barbara Walters didn't go to the ball drop and say this is 2020. So
Could be.
the year is like, you missed this opportunity. You've had years to get ready for it. You blew it. Now we're gonna just that's the kind of thing. Although I can't complain too loudly. I've had a couple of good things happen this week, which worked out really well.
Mhm.
My demon car from Fleet Street has been replaced finally. The Murano Shadowfax 1, as we are now calling it, has been replaced by Shadowfax 2. I have another white SUV now. Yay!
Yay.
But I was telling you guys before we started recording, and I have to share this with our general public. For the past 3 weeks, the service engine soon light in the Murano has been on. Right? So it's just like, oh my God, just the one more thing. I fixed one thing, boom. I soaked $1,000 into it a month ago just to get it running so that the service engine soon light could pop up and be like, holy cow, here we go again. And this week it was especially bad because there were times where I would turn the car on and you could hear there was something going on with the engine, and the service engine soon light would start blinking, which is like critical fault, so you're screwed. So I'd shut the car down, start praying, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, West Jesus of 14606, and turn the car back on, and it would be running better, and the service engine soon light would still be on, but steady, right? And then the airbag warning light would start going off this week, and the tire pressure light's always been on. So by the grace of God go I. My mom, she does these things where she basically tells me, she goes, you're not going to get as much of an inheritance, but I'm going to do this thing for you. And I'm blessed. I will never be able to thank her enough for the things she's done for me over the past almost 50 years now. 50 in 2 weeks. What the hell? I'm old. Anyway, so she volunteered. She's going to step up. She's going to help me get the next vehicle. Okay, cool. And we did some shopping, and yesterday was the day we went out to a place to pick it up. Now we're cruising down the 490. My mom's with me. Ian is with me because I haven't seen him in a while. He came to spend some time with me. That's awesome. And as we're driving along, all of a sudden, I look down at the dashboard, and the service engine soon light is off. And I'm like, really?
It's fixed.
Really? I know. Now I'm laughing about this and explaining it to my mom and my son why I'm laughing, and they start laughing, and we're all like, finding the irony in it. And then the sensor light goes off, and the airbag warning light blinks out. And I'm like, okay, one of two things is about to happen to me right now. This car is about to completely fall apart while I'm driving at 65 miles an hour, or it's going, no, don't trade me in. No, I'll be a good boy. I promise I'll be a good boy. And then as we're pulling into the dealership parking lot, I'm like,
We made it.
we made it. We made it. I'm almost in the back of my head. I'm almost having this vision of the Bluesmobile at the end of the Blues Brothers movie where it comes to a stop. They get out, they look back at it, and it just falls apart to the ground. But I'm happy to say no, none of that happened, and we arrived safely. And now I have a new to me vehicle. That's a hell of a lot better. But it looks weird. It looks weird because it's a little bit shorter than the Murano was, but it's a little taller. It's more squared off, so it doesn't look as like the Murano's always looked to me like somebody sat on it and squashed it down a little bit. So it's more like it's like an oval cross section. This one's kind of a more proper SUV squared off thing, and it doesn't have the zombie emergency zombie response team badge on the back because I have to go to AutoZone and get a new one of those.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and I'm looking for
stuff there. Yeah.
I got it. It's the important things.
Yes.
So, anyway, so that happened, and I can't remember if there was another story I wanted to share or not. But how you guys doing? Let's switch gears and say, hey, Tanya, how are you?
Not too bad.
Congratulations on finally making it to vacation.
Yes, and it's yeah.
Wow. Speechless.
Such clearly concise thoughts. I love it. Now, don't everybody talk at once.
No,
I thought I
sorry,
lost all you guys.
I'm getting a message from John P. going, when is the Zoom meeting for book club? So,
Ah.
I think it's not this week. It's next week, right?
Yeah, it was the last Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the 26th. Yeah, I'm on vacation, and like yesterday, Saturday, Sean and I went back out to Anne's house to continue working on the next part of the chicken coop. It's like a multi-day project because it's just so warm out there, and Sean's complaining up a storm because it's the plans he's using were like 85 pages printed off of the Home Depot website. And he's like, no offense to you, Chris, but it was written by an English major. That's what and Sean will look at me. He goes, no offense to you either, but this was written by an English major. He's like, give me dimensions, give me numbers, give me this. Don't give me the freaking words type thing. So he's been doing a lot of adjusting of numbers and dimensions based on the lumber that's out there and things like that. And so I've been learning how to use a chop saw. I will not touch the circular saw.
No,
but he made me use the chop saw. He's like, come on, use the nail gun. I'm like, no. So,
come on, you gotta use the nail gun. Come on.
Oh, so it's like,
Come on, you need a new nickname like One-Eyed Tanya.
pardon me.
oh, geez.
What I done? Yeah.
Hold on,
Uh-huh.
Mom. You're on the You're on the podcast.
Are you being invaded again?
Okay, good.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Everyone says hi.
Hi, everybody. Sandy,
Hi, Tanya's mom.
I'll text you.
Okay. Hi. I guess my mom's texting me now.
Okay.
Did you like my Avengers ringtone? Could you guys hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it's coming along. So Anne's loving life that her chickens are going to have a new house to live in, and it won't be too soon because anytime Athena's out at the farm, she chases and does circles around the tiny chicken coop.
Yeah, and they're kind of getting Twitter-pated over that, aren't
Yes, and she's almost through the chicken wire on the one door because she puts her paws up there trying to get at the chickens.
they? Mm-hmm.
And Anne said it was Chick-fil-A that kept pecking at Athena's nose.
Now, the fact that Anne has a chicken named Chick-fil-A is amusing to me to no end.
Oh, there's Callie, there's Sawyer, there's Chick-fil-A. I don't know what else out there.
Now let me
It's
ask
just like
this.
their cows. There was Ben and Jerry.
Right. because why not?
And
Let
there
me
was
let me ask this question though.
what?
In your opinion, if Athena managed to get at the chickens,
I
do you
don't know
think
if she'd know what to do.
Yeah, that was gonna say. Do you think she would hurt them, or
She wants to play.
because
That's
I know she's a little playful little thing, but I didn't know she would like see toys or food because
I think
she
she
is a
sees
pit bull.
toys.
So
I think right now she sees toys.
okay,
Oh, the little snot
Mm.
yesterday went to get she was off her leash because we were like kind of chilling out underneath the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden Sean's like, Jess, the dog, Jess, the dog. As Athena takes off across the front yard as she sees somebody taking a walk down
Oh
Anne's
boy.
Road. So Jess ran out, I ran out, and the woman who was on the phone with somebody just stood still.
Mm-hmm.
And Athena didn't jump on her, but she kind of like got close and she was like trying to figure out what it was. And Sean's like, "It's okay. She just wants to check you out and whatever." So Jess is trying to get to Athena. Athena's running around like racing away. It was like the perfect like cat and mouse type thing where you're trying to catch the dog and the dog jig jags and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally get the dog back, and I got her by her harness, and I'm carrying her back to the table where we're all sitting. And I go and Jess hold her. I went to Sean's car to get her leash to put her leash back on to teach her going. If you're going to run out towards the road, you have to be leashed again.
Right.
So she was laying next to
The dog
me.
understands that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Mom.
yeah, and she did. She laid down next to me and things like that. All of a sudden, Anne's like, Tanya, the dog. I'm like, what? She is like maybe a quarter of an inch left of her leash that she chewed through
Oh wow.
in a matter of like 2 minutes.
Jesus, she's brutal.
So I looked at Sean. I'm like, sorry. He goes, they're under warranty.
Yeah. Juno, those lupine leashes and the lupine stuff, the brand. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for on a Sunday morning at way too early o'clock. The lupine brand of dog leashes and harnesses and stuff, they're fantastic. They've got a lifetime warranty on all of them. They're good for one replacement, right? So if they chew through the second one, they're not gonna like, come on, you got to buy a third, right? So they're not going to give away the store, but they're very understanding of the fact that you have to train the dog, and the dog's going to sometimes get the better of you, and they'll work with you on that. So
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but it was a nice start to my vacation. But can I tell you, my feet are killing me for being on them from 8:30 yesterday morning until like 3.
well, your feet are normally, you have some issues with them being so tight and
Well,
sore.
it wouldn't have been so bad had I not been standing on the concrete of Anne's garage.
Well,
If I had just been like out in the grass the whole time, that wouldn't have been too bad. But I think some of it was just standing on the concrete. So,
Gotcha.
but no, my mom sent me a text saying that they were stopping at Walmart to get the special oil for the saw. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but it's raining at Chris's house. Did Dad still want to try to work on the tree?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave that up to my father to.
If he thinks he's up for it, then hey, they'll be here probably around the same time we're done with podcasting, so that'll work out for me.
Well, they'll be here to get me first.
Well, there's that.
Okay.
There's that.
But
It's
no,
cool.
I'm happy to be on vacation. I've got a lot of Runaways comics to snuggle in and read. I've got a lot
Nice.
of.
You're actually
I do
going to read
have-
comics?
I have a whole bag full of the Runaway series.
That wasn't my question. You're going to read them?
Yes.
Good.
I have every intention of reading them. When?
Okay.
I don't
See,
know.
Well,
you
you're on
know.
vacation. You have the intention of reading them. So.
I do have intention to reading. And in addition doing projects at Anne's house and Chris's house and maybe anything at Sean's house, I probably should do some projects around here too.
Everybody
probably
let's go ahead and say we're going to do projects. Tanya can help us, and then so her entire week of vacation will basically be doing projects at other people's
I'm
house.
just not available on the 26th.
Why? What's going on the 26th?
I have a dentist appointment in the morning, and Riker has orientation for junior high.
I
Mm.
see.
So
Billy!
Yes, Chris.
How are you, Billy?
I'm good.
Happy birthday, Billy.
Thank you, sir. It was yesterday as we record this, a few days ago as you're listening to this. And it was uneventful, except for I got to see some of my family for the first time in a long time.
That's awesome.
My sister and her family
the pictures.
visited and brought me presents, and we chatted and had a socially distanced chatted and had a good time seeing them. And Susan made me food that I liked, and I got some presents, and I ate too many Fritos and made myself sick.
Oh,
But other than
So that answers the question. Apparently, there is too many Fritos.
there is a
Maybe.
big bag is too many.
Oh.
But just been watching a lot of TV, and right
Mhm.
now Susan's continuing to watch a show I tapped out of after season 3. I just
Mhm.
got tired of Downton Abbey. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
I have
but-
not
I-
seen it.
Watched
I-
like maybe 10 minutes of one episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for a while, and then it got too depressing and just turned into a British soap opera where the characters are fun. I mean, there's some characters I liked,
hmm
but I sort of, and as I even looked at it this morning while Susan was continuing on to season 4, and I understand the enjoyment, and I could get sucked back in, but it just wasn't drawing me anymore. So.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Lucifer, I really liked.
I love
Yeah.
Lucifer.
We
I
just
watched
started
the first
watching
season.
Lucifer a few days ago, and I really am enjoying it.
Yeah, very good show. And season 5's coming out soon, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or the part 1 of season 5, they're calling it.
I think
So
I have to restart it. I think
I'm going to have to also.
restart to just because I can never remember where I was.
hmm
Doesn't Netflix tell you?
Well, Netflix will tell you structurally where you are in terms of the actual which episode and whatnot, but you cannot, if you've been away from a show for a while, like I said, I've only watched the first season. I probably would have want to watch the first season again just to remember what the hell was going on in terms of, the actual, the storyline itself.
So I've been watching TV and reading and doing the things I do. So uneventful, but waiting for society to return, which I'll check my mail to see if anyone sent me anything that could be iffy too with the post office situation.
Right.
And just trying to stay normal in a world that's not so normal, I guess is what I'm trying to do.
That's actually a really good observation. I like that phrase. Stay normal in a world that's not so normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's we can live that one. So I got to ask, since you just had your birthday, how's it feel to finally be 21?
Oh, since I don't drink, I don't know what to do with myself.
Difference.
Yeah.
But you're only a couple more years away from your car insurance taking it. Oh wait, you don't drive either. Wait,
Yeah.
okay. It's very anticlimactic. The 20s are just going to be anticlimactic for you. I'm sorry to tell you this ahead of time.
But just wait until he hits his late 50s or like that 55 age, because then AARP kicks in.
Oh, I've gotten the mail.
Yes. See, here's the damn thing about it is I'm starting to get it, and I was still in my 40s. God damn it! It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I've been getting the mail.
I'm like, just wait, whatever, and then he can get a senior citizen discount on like coffee, or eventually, I think going to the movies whenever those app open back up.
Yeah.
Actually,
the funny thing is, you mentioned the discounts. It had to be last fall because I stopped it. I was out for a walk. I was going to stop at Rhino's Comics and pick up some stuff. And there's that Dairy Queen right across the street there. So I stopped in there.
I know exactly where you are.
It was a Saturday morning, and I stopped in to get a bottle of water because I was hot, and it was free because they assumed I was a senior citizen.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't correct them because I didn't mind free water.
There you go.
That's funny.
That's amazing. Daniel-san,
Christopher,
aside from being begrudgingly doing the opening today, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Just working like usual.
Uh-huh. Now, have you gone to your office at all in the recent months, or has it just been entirely from home?
The office has been locked. We're not allowed to go in at all.
Wow.
So I haven't been there since in 5 months, and neither has anybody else in my group there. So I can't imagine like the dust that's everywhere.
Well,
And
can you imagine the spider webs that have been crafted and created? It's going to kind of look like all those pictures of Australia that Sean sends me.
Well,
or just or like those pictures of abandoned places, kind of walking.
Oh God,
building.
See, I was under the impression that office buildings, they had to at least have their janitorial staff working to continually clean and.
Well, I don't know about. I mean, there's some some of the buildings. There's the people have to be there for supporting the buildings, but
Right.
I think for the most part, I mean, there's not people normally working there besides the small number of who are whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if there's cleaning and stuff, but.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I haven't seen the office. I don't know how my desk is going to look or whatever, or when or if we're going back, because I don't think we're going back this calendar year at all. So
12 feet of dust.
Yeah,
he's going. No, what he's going to have? He's going to have almost like 4 reams worth of paper from like clerical support staffers and secretaries, basically putting documents he had to sign on his desk.
I don't have to sign anything, so it's okay. I'm not that important.
Okay, so that was only me then. All right,
That's
gotcha.
I'm worried about my Legos just being too dirty and everything. I mean, I got tons of Legos at my desk, so I kind of miss those. I didn't bring all of them home. I just brought a couple of sets home. So I got my Doctor Who Legos, my DeLorean, my Ghostbusters Lego sets are all on my desk. So if anybody hears this, then don't come to my office and steal my Legos, please.
I'm going to send you guys a picture of my desk where I'm sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the set that's currently sitting on my desk.
Well, somebody bought me the International Space Station set for an early birthday present, and it's still in its box, sitting in my room at the moment. But this week it's going to show it. It's going to get its time in the sun. Let's see. We got this picture. Look at that. We got the Chinook helicopter. We got Black Widow and a friend on a motorcycle. That's very nice.
And I didn't even have a chance to put it together.
Your son put the helicopter together for you, didn't he?
Yes, he did his Minecraft Dungeons one, the little Minecraft mini set, and then my Black Widow helicopter set. Like, what was it? Last Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
No one touches my Legos.
Okay, Chris. My dad said, "Get her done."
Okay, so I'll see you guys around noon.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'm in. I'll make sure the boy's ready.
Okay.
With the rain and it's let up a little bit. It's like maybe like a little light sprinkle here at the moment, but with the grass being wet, I just didn't want to risk getting anybody hurt with a couple of chainsaws running, right?
Yeah.
So
are you kidding me? My dad is a mountain man. He grew up in the back hills of Honeoye and Honeoye Falls, and then Honeoye again, and
so rain or shine, he doesn't stop.
Okay,
exactly. No, it's truly that is. So
once we're done recording, I got to run to Home Depot and get some two cycle motor chainsaw oil, right? Because I don't have any gas for it at the moment for the one that I have.
Okay, so we're gonna have to make sure that we're done by like 11.
Yeah, give or take.
So that means we should probably take a break.
Yeah, it's a good time for a break right now.
Sounds like a good time for a break, doesn't it? And when we come back, we're going to start talking about things that just didn't quite hit the mark we wanted them to. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, because why not? It's good. All right. So, friends and family, Billy came up with this great idea, and so we're going to run with it. Things that didn't quite hit the mark, stuff that was a little disappointing, like a video game adaptation of something, or a book adapted into a video game, or a video game adapted into a movie. Or a book adapted into a movie. Lots of people. I think lots of our ideas are probably going to be books that were adapted into movies where we loved the books, but then the movie was like, "Wait, what? Why are you doing this? What's going? Stop!" Stuff like that. We could probably make an entire podcast series if we got the right Potterhead and had them talk about all 7 books and how they were adapted into movies. And this was not right about the first one. This was not right about the second. There's going to be like a 7-episode series just on Harry Potter books and what they missed. Although the movies were quite fun. I always enjoyed them.
I like the books and the movies.
Overall, they did pretty well. I mean, I just
Yeah.
watched the third movie again, and there are some glaring major problems with it that now that I really watch it again, and it's like,
Mhm.
because they sort of skip around, they change things around. I think that's one of the worst done movies, I think,
Okay.
of the whole Potter series.
Now,
But
which one was that again? I'm sorry.
the third one,
The third one.
The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there's anyways, but yeah, disappointments.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then we would just have like this is disappointments that they didn't necessarily uh, run with whatever in a movie or a TV series or whatever. Then we could have a whole nother podcast episode about just disappointing things that happened.
Okay. Give me an
Star Wars
idea of that.
Episode 1 was a disappointment.
The what?
Star Wars Episode 1 was a disappointment.
Yeah, yes.
Phantom
You can
Menace,
fast forward through everything and watch the movie in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I've
2020's
done.
been a disappointment, but we've mentioned
true.
that.
Yes, no kidding. I think we've covered that one
Yeah.
quite often.
Yes.
Continuous coverage of
And
2020.
yeah.
Several references to it. Like, let me go ahead and just let me start the ball rolling. And is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
I grew up with that book. I've read that book several times. As a matter of fact, since we brought it up in a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I have my battered old copy here on my desk. I've been reading a book, guys. I haven't had time
Ooh.
to, but I've been starting to, and it's great to start on kind of familiar ground. And so when the movie came out with Martin Freeman a few years ago, I was so excited. Alan Rickman doing the voice of Marvin the paranoid android. I'm like, it's gonna be great. And Sam Rockwell as Zaphod, and Mos Def as Ford Prefect, and Zoe Deschanel was Trillian. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a great cast. These are all great actors. This is gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. And right off the bat, I'm like,
What? Huh?
what is going
What?
on
Yeah.
here? And I was so sad about that movie.
Did they read the books before they did the movie?
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh no, this is the version that Douglas Adams wrote." He's been dead for like almost 20 years. When did he write this crap? It's like
I was very disappointed.
it was
like,
tough. It was
they
so
threw
tough.
like all the books like into one movie kind of thing. They did, yeah.
The thing is, I had just reread the book 6 months ago, whenever it was. So Susan and I we rewatched the TV show from if you remember, it was 6 episodes, and then we borrowed the movie from the library back when libraries were open, and I went to go see it at the theater. And I fell asleep during that, so I didn't remember it. And when I watched it this time, you're right. It's not the book. It's not even the TV show or the records or the radio show.
No.
And I'm not gonna fault the acting, because the acting was fantastic. I mean, these actors are really good, especially at being funny. And while Ford Prefect has always talked about being pale-faced and thin-faced and whatnot, so he's obviously a white British guy in the books. And so here's Mos Def, an African-American rapper. But I love Mos Def as an actor. I've seen him in several, like The Italian Job. He was fantastic in that movie, just so funny in that movie. Just it's got that dry, subtle sense of humor. So he played the part really, really well. But the writing and the structure of the story and the way the editing choices that the director made, I'm like, what is going on here?
Now, if you could forget the books, would the movie have been okay?
No, I don't think so.
I
mean, here's
think
the thing.
so. I think that's a point. I do think that's a point, because you wouldn't have anything to measure it against. Yeah,
right. Because there's a lot of ones that if I could possibly forget the book and then watch the movie, I would probably enjoy the movie. But if the movie is so far changed from the books, you can't help but do the comparison, and I'm like, where am I? And so it's like I tried to I did watch it again, and I tried to forget the books, and it was okay, but compared to the books, it was horrible.
Right. Well, for me, I think if I try to separate myself from book to movie, and I say, okay, I never read the books, let me just watch this movie. The movie, it just didn't feel cohesive to me. It was just kind of like meandering along. And I get that is kind of the premise of Hitchhikers itself. It goes from point A to point B by way of point Q, Z, R, S. There's lots of these little tangents throughout the way, but there's almost a subtle reason for everything
Mm-hmm.
in it. There's a little satire in every little tangent. There was social commentary somewhere along the line, and there was some sort of like political observation involved. And the movie just didn't have it, and I was very sad about
Yeah.
that. So that's
Yeah.
when I ever think of disappointing movies, it's the first thing I'm going to think of is that one.
Yeah. I would
Now-
not disagree.
One of mine, we've talked about the Superman v Batman and
Mhm.
Man of Steel to no end. So
Right.
I'll skip those because we know how those didn't quite come out. But the Superman movie from a few years before that, Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, which Man of Steel had way too much action, and Superman Returns had almost none. Despite Kevin Spacey being a really good Lex Luthor, but it was boring. Superman movies shouldn't be boring.
Right. Well, there was also that incredibly creepy factor where he's like almost like stalking Lois Lane throughout the movie. It was like,
Yeah.
Dude, Blue Boy Scout, what's going on here?
Yeah. So that was one of mine, and
Okay.
another disappointment of mine. As long as I'm talking,
Mhm.
and a completely different medium, because I'm a music guy.
Right.
Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel of Love album, when it first
Okay.
came out, it was the follow-up to Born in the USA, which was a huge hit, and then there was the live box set, which was a culmination of 10 years of live performances.
Oh,
And
wow.
then Bruce comes out with a very sort of subtle, slowly paced album of like songs of self-reflection, and he was going through a bad marriage, and it was now the album I think is great, but when it first came out, I didn't listen to it again for years afterwards, and I'm a huge Springsteen fan, so now I love it, and maybe because I've grown up some as Bruce did over the course of those years.
Gotcha.
But when it first came out and there wasn't like a big rousing rock and roll song with a huge sax solo and no fun songs on it.
You're like, wait, what's going on here, Brucey?
Exactly.
Okay. And that definitely fits the conversation.
So I'm going to go with those as two of my disappointments.
But here's the thing is, let me just see if I can bring this all around. You have learned to appreciate that music a little bit better now, though.
Yes, Tunnel of Love. I love Tunnel of Love. Since then, he's also recorded a couple like just acoustic. The Ghost of Tom Joad, I still haven't listened to all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that one I didn't know what to expect. I guess but yeah, I love the Tunnel of Love album now for sure. But when it first came out in 87 or 88, I was not happy with it, and it made me sad. So
now, Daniel-san, I'm going to come to you, but before I do, I want to ask the esoteric rhetorical question: what director in the history of Hollywood is the absolute worst at adapting video games to movies, and why is it Uwe Boll? Moving on, Daniel. What's your contribution to the?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this might be a little controversial. I'm going to say The Hobbit.
You know what? I'm actually on board with that.
Because Lord of the Rings was a trilogy of books with 3 long movies, with plenty of material. The Hobbit was one short book made into 3 huge movies.
Right. And and I get that they took a lot of material from the quote unquote appendices and extra thoughts of Tolkien himself. Okay. But couldn't have those been just kind of standalone movies on their own? If The Hobbit took off, and did really, really well, then a couple of years down the road, we're going to do this. This is what happened after The Hobbit. This is based on the appendices and the works of Tolkien. you know,
Yeah.
or you could do a whole freaking DVD series and it would go gonzo, right? But yeah, I'm with you, because it started off so wonderfully. You know,
Hmm.
the Hobbit, the visuals, they had, because Peter Jackson knows what he's doing when it comes to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean the work itself. I mean, it was beautifully done story, and
Mhm.
if you the actors and everything, but it's just where did all this come from?
Yeah, and Martin Freeman is Bilbo Baggins, and I hate to keep bringing up Martin Freeman movies because he's such a great guy. You
Hmm.
know, his turn as Watson in the Sherlock TV series at BBC, his turn as the supporting character, the general in the Avengers movies in Black Panther.
And if
Um,
you've ever seen the British version of The Office, he
he's in it.
plays the main character. He plays Tim, which is the British version of Jim. If you watch the American
Okay,
version,
Hmm.
and he's fantastic as Tim.
I love Martin Freeman. I really do.
Yeah,
I think he's a fantastic dude. I would love to see him as the Doctor someday. You know,
yeah. There you
that would
go.
be amazing. But yeah, it's just he keeps getting stuck in these really
I
kind of.
mean, it seemed like I mean, I love The Hobbit. I mean, it should have been a great movie. When I heard 3 movies out, I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, what are they doing?
It could have been one. I mean, you could have maybe stretched it into two if you're really, but
Hmm.
3. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
5 hours, or I don't know, 500 minutes or something like that of The Hobbit, for a
yeah.
book which is shorter than one of the trilogy there, the Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah,
it was.
the Battle of Five Armies did not need to exist at all. It
It
just did.
was. It wasn't that long in the books.
No, it was like 3 pages of notes, and they
Yeah,
crammed in an
it's
entire
like
2.5, 3 hour movie from 2.5 pages of notes.
and it's just it's just too long. I
Yeah,
mean, this is from somebody who sat in the theater for what a whole day watching the Lord of the Rings extended editions.
right.
And I thought The Hobbit was just too long because there wasn't enough.
Hmm.
Like I said, if they expect to spend that long on one battle type of thing, or
Mm.
kind of, it's just all right. You're stretching it out. It's we know can create these great visuals, but you're just stretching out the story just far too long.
Right.
So it's not that the story was bad. It was just that it's just that it's just stretched out, and just cut out like a ton of it and make a short movie, and you got a winner there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's really valid. And I mean, we may have talked about that a little bit during a one of our earlier podcasts, like back in season one kind of things. I know we did like these foundational early chats about a lot of different things that we liked, all the basic
Hmm.
stuff. So we might have covered that a bit, but I would like to go back and talk about that again sometime. Because
Yeah.
you know what I want to do? One of these days, I want to track down the actual appendices that led to the Battle of Five Armies movie, and I want to read it. I want to see what the I want to see
You see
just
what
how
it
much
is, yeah.
information is there.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I mean, I love the books. I mean, I love some of the movie. Some of the movie is just watching it all is just a lot.
My daughter was telling me one of her favorite moments as a kid. We were having this discussion a little while ago. One of her favorite memories as a little child was me reading her and her brother The Hobbit
Hmm.
before bed. I would read a couple, some pages every so often,
Hmm.
then tuck them in, and boom, that was it.
Yeah,
And that was one of her favorite things.
I mean, The Hobbit was kind of a kid's book,
Yeah,
so yeah,
he wrote The Hobbit before he wrote Lord of the Rings, didn't he?
yes, yeah.
Because I don't remember if he went back and then told The Hobbit after the fact, but I think he
No,
was.
that was the first one, I think.
Okay, so prequel was not a thing until George Lucas did it,
Right.
right?
I
So
mean, The Lord of the Rings was a better epic story.
right,
I mean, that was a great epic story, and I think he just wanted back to do Hobbit because he wanted to do. I mean, because he loves the stories, and he said going into 3 movies, and if he would have done it first, he
hmm
wouldn't have been able to do 3 movies for The Hobbit.
yeah,
So it almost would have been better if he would have done the Hobbit first. But
yeah,
again, Lord of the Rings is more of an epic story, so that's how he got that one done first.
right. I mean, look at
So
it this way: if you look at it from a gamer's angle, right, The Hobbit is when all the characters are first and second level. Lord of the Rings is when they're in the 10th, 11th, 12th region. So
yep, yeah,
you bring it on the big stuff now. At that point, go save the
yes.
world. Very cool. All right. Oh, Tanya, fabulous.
Yes.
Your turn.
I've just been listening.
We
whatsoever.
delayed as long as possible, but now
I
you're
know.
going to make a
No,
contribution.
I'm like I've been searching, and I'm just like, in regards to like movies or books to movies, things like that. I'm like, I
Mhm,
haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy yet. So,
mhm.
and
I'm
I
glad
haven't
you
seen
said
the
yet. That makes me happy.
and I haven't seen the movie, so I don't have
Mhm.
anything to compare there. Um, I guess I just didn't really delve deep enough into the Harry Potter books after just reading them to enjoy them to see the glaring inaccuracies or differences in the movies type thing, or I just at the point didn't care
Right.
type thing. So I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm like, so just in general, I'm like, some of the disappointments that I've had um is playing certain different video games. The one video game that we had was Divine Divinity, I think was one of the games. It was kind of like a Sacred 2, Sacred Destiny, whatever type thing. It's like a similar to World of Warcraft Diablo type
Okay.
game. And we found there was a glitch or a problem in the game that kind of disappointed us, to the point that, like, if you ran off a certain way, you got yourself stuck in this battle with like a vampire or whatever, and no amount of running away from that vampire, like if in World of Warcraft or whatever, if you kind of
If
get
you
in
run out of distance, it leaves you alone after a
right,
while. Yeah.
not for this game, it would track you down
Oh
back to
boy.
your starting point.
Oh my
And like
God.
you're running and running and running and running and running, and that was
You've
like,
just pissed off a Terminator.
so we don't know if that was like a glitch in the game, or because then there were some things that you just couldn't get past to get into like the next area of the game, and no matter what amount that you could figure it out. So
Mhm.
I think that was like one thing that disappointed about us about that game. But I think um I'm I'm just trying to figure out, truly, was I, oh, okay type thing.
Mhm.
I think I'm more disappointed when like a series ends and that they're not going to make any more, because I've enjoyed the storyline so
Oh,
far, even if it's gone off the rails a little bit, just like us.
yeah.
And then come back on. I think that's what I kind of try to see the enjoyment in everything, and not necessarily be super hyper critical in that.
I think you brought up a whole aspect of the topic that we didn't consider when we came up with the ideas, the ending of series, like the end
Yeah,
of Game of Thrones, the end of How I Met Your Mother,
Firefly. That's what I
the end
said
of Firefly.
when I was
We
saying,
could
can
just,
we just talk about disappointments?
yeah.
Not that it was a disappointing adaptation from one to another. I'm like, can we just talk about things that disappointed us? Like, I watched the season/series finale of Agents of Shield the other day,
Mhm.
and granted, they have really gone off the rails, going every which way and things like that, and alternate timelines and multiverses and this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
But they like kind of had a tidy bow wrapped in as the finale type thing. And I was
Mhm.
just like, oh, but it leaves it open enough that you could pick up any one of those little parts of the groups that have splintered off and do a series run of that type thing. So
Mhm.
I don't know, but yeah, I was a little disappointed. I was just sad that that was ending. But
That's a interesting use of the disappointment
yeah,
Yeah.
well, so and I
topic.
was saying, in regards to disappointment
Mhm,
topic in games,
mhm,
we have this game in our house called Play 9. It's a card game. It
Mhm.
has to do with golf, and the option is the what's the object is to score the lowest score at the end of 9 rounds of playing the hand. And they've
mhm,
got like low cards like 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then they have super high cards like 12, and then they have a couple -5 cards. So you match, if you can match cards up and down, like a 9 and a 9, one above the other, it counts as 0. It cancels each other out. So
Mhm.
we've been playing this game, probably Tyler might have been 9 or 10. So we've been playing, this card game's been around for a while.
Mhm.
So now the disappointing part is, if we happen to pick up a card and switch it with one of the cards that's placed down, it kills us when we flip over a -5 that goes to the next person, because we wanted that. type thing. So it's a that type of thing. So in our house, we play every Sunday. So we're probably going to play around 11 o'clock when my parents show up. There's one spot in the house that my dad always usually sits at, on the bench next to Nene, her spot. So last week, Tyler and Riker were playing basketball outside with my parents. They finished playing up. Tyler goes, "Oh, is it time for play 9?" We're like, "Sure." He takes off for the house, like really, really fast. We're like, "What the hell's going on?" He takes off, runs in the house, whatever. I come in to get the cards and start shuffling. Isn't his flip-flop on the bench where my dad normally sits?
Okay.
Because my dad usually wins. So therefore, we were going to put like the caution tape over the 6 feet social distancing on that spot because no one could sit there because my dad always sits there. So that was the whole thing. And so Tyler comes running in and I'm like, "What the hell?" And so my dad had to take a different chair. And don't you know, my dad lost. And
Nice.
he had the highest score.
You had the chair juju.
Yeah, it was, and because he's won every single time he sat there.
So it's disappointing because you suck at the game is basically what you're saying.
And it's a matter, it's a total luck of the draw and strategic for the cards because it could change any hand whatsoever. You could be, "Oh, I have a 4, I'm earning 4 points this one," and then all of a sudden, bam, get hit with 30. We're like, "What the hell happened?" Because someone else was able to go out, and then you have to flip over all your cards. But it's so fun to play. But for the longest time, trying to deal with the disappointment on both of my kids when they flipped over a -5 and had to give it to somebody else. They're just like, I'm done, I'm out of here type thing, because they didn't have the maturity level yet to understand it's okay, it's just a game. So it was like, so Tyler would get to the point where he would have a 0 where he would let the 0 fly and draw and discard a 0 just so he could flip over most of his cards so he wouldn't give away that -5. That was his mindset for the longest time. And now we're past that. But it's the funniest thing to watch. But yes, there's a lot of disappointment in regards to playing that game, especially in my house. It's cutthroat.
That's funny.
Speaking of games, when I thought of this, isn't there a version of Dungeons and Dragons that you guys don't consider as good as the other versions? And I know
4th
I'm
edition.
saying this wrong, but
No, you're right, Billy. There is.
so was that disappointing when you started playing and realized this isn't the game I wanted it to be? Oh, okay.
It was so bad that I never got around to actually playing it. When 4th edition came out, I bought the player's handbook, even though people were already, like, the veteran gamers were already like,
"Don't do it."
Yeah, this is not good. But I bought it just because out of curiosity, and also, like you, I'm a bit of a completist, right? So I have a shelf in my office here that has, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and now 5th edition player's handbook sitting in a nice little neat little row. And then when I started flipping through it and started reading it and started talking about it with other people, it's like, no, this is just it made things too homogenized. There was no like, this person had a particular role and this person had a particular role. To have really good teams, you have to make sure that you're balancing and
everyone could do what everyone else could.
Yeah, it was like basically just flavor. Everybody could do the same thing. It's just like, well, the warrior attacks with a sword. Well, the mage does this. Well, the cleric does this. It's all the same thing, just it was described differently. And I just started getting the impression of like, look, this is like an online MMO for tabletops. So if I want to play an MMO, I'll just fire up World of Warcraft. And then it was just lame.
And that's what like bothered me about just different groups of people when we were gaming. Because I know before you and Scott joined us for like Star Wars, our friend, I think Matt Dixon or whatever, it was Bob, myself, Sean, Randy, or whatever. We were playing Star Wars, and Bob was known for creating a character that could do everything else that everyone else's character could do. So it's a matter of like, well, why did I play a scoundrel that was a pilot if you're a better pilot than I am and you're a scout type thing? I'm like, why am I here? It's just like sometimes I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah. Everybody should have a job and a specialty. It's okay when somebody has the ability to help out, but it's one thing when you try to be the best at everything, and then it becomes just great. And
becomes
fourth
the
edition
one-man
allowed
show
everybody
for
to
that
be good at everything. You know,
Yeah.
you start soloing stuff. It's like, well, why do you even need a party? This is not a
Mhm.
social game anymore that way. So I mean, it was just I had issues with that, and so you bring up a valid point there, Billy.
So yes.
So there's a lot of things out there we're disappointed in, and you know what we're going to talk about is next week. I think a great topic will be things that were pleasantly surprising, and or they were spot on, and we were just so satisfied with. I think that's a good way to we'll balance this week off next week. So, but let's take a quick break because we've got a really good question of the week coming up. We picked it ahead of time accidentally, kind of on the fly, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I want to take a quick break so we can jump into our question of the week. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. If there's anything that you guys think about from the conversation we just had, feel free to add that to the threads, you know, either on Twitter or Facebook. Get that conversation going. We'd love to hear what you have to think about what may have not hit the mark or what you may be wanting to talk about in the future. Now, we're going to jump into our question of the week. And who found it? It was Dan. Did you find it?
Yes.
I did, yes.
Okay, so read it off.
What two films would you like to combine into one?
That would be like, so do the ultimate mashup.
Yes.
Cool. Now, my brain immediately went to weirder is better, of course, because that's me. But Billy, what did you come up with?
Okay, my thing is because they're both good guys versus bad. Well, two sides fighting. It's West Side Story and Star Wars. The Jets and the Sharks are the rebels and
my God.
and the Empire.
I once met a girl named Leah.
Exactly.
I missed it.
West Side Story and Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
That's so fun.
I need a musical version of Star Wars with dancing Luke and Yoda.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
So start writing it, and we'll pitch the idea to Disney because we couldn't do it anywhere else.
I mean, there is that GIF, whatever, with the dancing stormtrooper. I don't know if you've ever seen it. So,
Yeah.
dancing stormtroopers all over the place.
Yeah, I think it's part of the Star Wars exhibit at Disney. They did have music
If
and
you're
dance.
a Sith, you're a Sith now for life.
That's excellent. We're on
I'm
our
already
way.
off and running on it. I'm already off and running on it, Billy.
We're going to be billionaires if we can get George Lucas and Disney to give us the Star Wars rights.
God, that's amazing.
Oh, could you imagine?
Every so often, I come up with something that even makes me scared of how my mind works. I'm just going to throw that out.
We hire Weird Al to write the music.
There it is!
It is. Oh my
Long
Yoda!
time ago.
Yoda.
He gets to use Yoda and the saga begins in the movie.
Yep.
Dear Lord, that is awesome. That's perfection right there. I can only come up with second place to that one today. That's it. I'm only coming up with second place. Now, I know Tanya's having an issue with trying to come up with a good combination. I've suggested a couple to Dan. I know he's having an issue. So I usually wait for last, but I'm going to go now because I have an honorable mention list that's like 6 different items long now at this point. And then I will culminate with my eventual suggestion. But right off the top of my head, I'm going to suggest Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, or was it The Final Frontier? Is that one? Star Trek V, the really lame one that Shatner directed.
I think it's The Final Frontier, yeah.
Okay, or even better, we'll go to Star Trek I, the motionless picture, and we'll combine that with 2001: A Space Odyssey. So amazing visuals, art piece, but boring as all damn hell. Okay.
The most boring movie ever. Coming to you.
Feel free to take a nap. Okay, so my other ones, I was trying to remember the full name of the Of Mars movie, which came out to be John Carter of Mars, that came out recently, the big budget movie that flopped so badly. And in the process of trying to remember that movie, because I wanted to combine it with something else, but then I called it John Connor of Mars. And that's when I'm like, oh my God, yes, Terminator. Just add the Terminator to this movie and it'll be that much better. So there's so Star Trek I and 2001: A Space Odyssey, John Connor of Mars. My next combination, we will take Twilight and we will merge it with Blade.
Nice.
Weren't we always trying to do that anyway?
What's that?
Weren't we trying to do that anyway? So
I'm telling you, halfway into the movie, Buffy comes out of nowhere and spikes Edward. End of movie. Roll the credits. I'm good with that. Another one on my honorable mention list: The Breakfast Club and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think that would be the ultimate 80s teen movie.
Dude.
That one would be in your face teen angst the entire show.
Oh my gosh.
And then I started coming up a little bit more seriously. The last of my honorable mentions is Lord of the Rings and Monty Python's The Holy Grail.
I like it.
Come on.
I like it.
That's good. But my actual pick, my actual suggestion for this particular topic, we will take Marvel's The Avengers,
and the Muppets.
The Mystery Men.
Oh boy.
I want to see Hawkeye and the Spleen fighting in the same scene.
The Bowler.
Black Widow and the Bowler fighting side by side. Oh, it's you, the baby bowler? Come on. And come on, Loki teamed up with the Disco Boys. This is gold. This is comedy gold, people.
I'm in.
Okay, I got a couple.
All right, fire away, Tanya.
Guardians of the Galaxy Quest.
Oh, nice. Oh my God, yes.
How about Freaky Friday and Friday the 13th?
Okay, Freaky Friday the 13th. I like that. That's got some merit.
So I'm trying to figure out the plot of Freaky Friday the 13th. Do Jason and the
Jason
teen
and Jamie Lee
camper
Curtis switch team. Would they switch bodies? Jamie Lee Curtis and Jason.
So the camper is chasing the guy with the hockey mask.
Yes.
Yeah. Clash of the Titanic.
Pay me like your Medusa, Jack.
And
then the Kraken comes out and sinks the Titanic.
There was another one. It was called Jawa.
Jawa.
Yeah.
Instead of Jaws.
Oh, Jaws.
Jaws in Star Wars.
Okay.
Called Jawa.
Hey, John Williams still does the score.
Let's see. The Silence of the Rings.
So Silence of the Lambs,
geez.
Lord of the Rings.
Yep. Fellowship of the Ring. Yep.
So where does Hannibal?
I don't
Lecter?
know, but I don't know.
Hannibal Lecter eats Sauron. I don't know.
No, it is
Eats bits on the way over. I don't know.
I don't know. There's movie mashup ideas on Google for images.
Okay.
So these are not my original ones. I have not. I cannot take credit for those, but I did really like my Talladega Nights in Cars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be funny. So
earlier.
Lightning McQueen versus Ricky Bobby, and Will Ferrell is actually the car instead of just the actor. Yeah.
And then there was another one that I saw. It was Reservoir Turtles.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Teenage Mutant Ninja movie made by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
It was something about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are fighting for the side of good in pizza. And then the people for the Reservoir Dogs are bad, and they're fighting for diamonds. So something about a diamond shell, something or other. They were.
I was just thinking a whole new connotation to Mr. Orange, Mr. Purple, Mr. Red, and Mr. Blue.
Okay, so the mashup. The Turtles have switched sides. No, not like that. In this reimagined match, they're a band of criminals dealing with the aftermath of a botched job. So, thankfully, Splinter is on hand to dole out advice.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I like that one. So, Danny, you're on the spot now. You got anything?
I got nothing. I'm going back to what you said on break. Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Elf.
Kitty.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Richard Dreyfuss's character's name was, but hey, Richard, come over here and give me a hug for the old elfer. That's a nice piece of music right there. I like that.
A dramatic movie for the start, and then suddenly they meet the alien, and it's Elf.
Yeah, instead of the traditional Greys that we're so used to seeing in sci-fi, Elf comes bounding down the ramp.
That is hysterical.
That is, I love that combination.
That is funny.
What's some other good ones I can brainstorm up here? Let's see. Let me look around.
Is there a horror movie we can combine with toys to get like a toy version of the slasher?
Chucky?
Chucky, yeah,
Child's
there you have.
Play.
There was it
Child's
wasn't a
Play and
horror, but
toys.
there was toys in the hood.
Toys in the Hood.
Toys in the Hood.
Okay. Bridges of Madison County and Stephen King's The Firestarter. Little Drew Barrymore burning down the bridges of Madison County. The Natural and RoboCop.
Well, make it much better. I'm one of the few people that hate The Natural.
My mom was an extra in The Natural.
Were you really?
Oh,
really?
Parts of it were filmed in Batavia, right?
Yes. So. Either Batavia or Buffalo.
I did not
or maybe
know
both.
Yeah, my mom and my aunt were in the
crowd scene, the baseball stadium.
At the end.
Yep.
That's
somewhere.
Cool. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Planes, trains, automobiles, and help me here.
Snowpiercer.
Sled dogs.
Sled dogs. Planes, trains, and automobiles and Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh God. On that note, let's have our listeners kind of give us their favorite.
What would be a good mashup? I want to hear what James Irish comes up with. I want to hear what John Berengout comes up with.
John P. He will probably have some good ones, and even
Elizabeth
Bill,
Rice will probably have a couple of good ideas on the top of her head too.
Oh, she will definitely be mashing up some Disney DuckTales and something.
Yeah.
Doctor Who and
Yeah, I'm waiting for her.
Ooh, there's a good one. We mash up Mulan and Hero, the Jet Li piece.
Oh.
That would be badass. All right, so I think we're going to be off the rails. Well, no, I mean, we live off the rails.
And off the rails.
yeah, what do you mean getting off the rails?
We run out of things to talk about at the moment. Let's put it that way. So I guess that's a wrap. So this is where I go. Hey Dan.
Hey Chris.
Hey Dan.
Hey Chris.
Hit it. Because this has been Mighty Monkey's Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Company, a purveyor and producer of the Flower City Comic Con. Coming at you like a spider monkey, April 24th and 25th, 2021 at the Total Sports Experience in Gates. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us wherever we go, and we will lead you to where the entertainment is. Everybody have a great week, have a safe week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Dun, dun.
Every time.